Hey, this is Jason J. Lewis, Superman from Justice League Action, and you're watching SuperWonder Legacy.
You're strong.
I know.
Are you a sight for sore eyes?
It's nice to have someone who likes you for being you.
It's okay. I've got you now.
Just like in the movies.
Welcome to SuperWonder Legacy. I am Jared. What's up, Britt?
Hello, hello.
And today we are doing our annual holiday episode of the show where we talk about, well, for this week, how Superman and Wonder Woman and all the other couples of DC will celebrate the holidays. So now, unfortunately, Lois Lane will not be included in this episode. That's so sad. I know everyone is so upset.
You mean the
I don't know. She can be the Grinch. That actually works. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to make that joke because if I replace the L with the G, that's not going to be a good joke. Cameron says, hey guys, and happy holidays. I already have an answer that would combine both our cultures. We'll see that. Hey, what's up, Cameron, Parker, and NJ? All right. So, a Super Wonder Christmas. 'Tis this to be pissed off that Tom King is still on Wonder Woman. We'll be talking about that.
Yeah, we ended up having a little bit of coal for this year of, having Tom King still on Wonder Woman. What else? It's nothing really. DC is just completely boring as of now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Absolute Verse is really a Batman thing, with the tons of reprints, variant covers, and everything. Wonder Woman is okay, for what it is. Superman is dreadful. Like, it's very padding, a lot of padding. All the other books, as of now, I'm just not into them yet. I might read Martian Manhunter, but it's just not my thing. Even with Joe as Green Lantern, I just have no idea what's going on. It's like it feels very much like some of the characters are OCs, dressed as DC characters, or it's DC characters being, written like OCs. It is just not engaging. And then on top of that, you have KO, which is very pointless.
Yeah, well, at the very least, at least we have Absolute Wonder Woman, right?
I mean, it's a consolation prize.
Yeah, it's a consolation. An Absolute Superman feels like it's a return to our favorite era of Superman, so there is that. You will not cheer for anything Superman, will ya?
No, not right now.
I love how instantly she just says, no.
No.
Well, how do you feel that Superboy Prime is going to be the main Earth Superman for right now? So it turns out Simp Man goes missing.
Honestly, it shows how creatively bankrupt everything is, and they have exhausted all possibilities. To have it as Reign of the Superboys is just, that's scraping bottom of the barrel. And then to have Prime instead of John is kind of like you've basically admitted that they've given up on John. Like he is.
It's like, also, if you look at these solicits for Superman Unlimited, it's like the final days of John Kemperman. I'm like, either they're gonna give him a new identity or they're gonna whack him.
I think they're gonna try to give him a new identity, but the thing is, it's because he is on the Titans. He will be on the Titans with Yara, and I think and Stephanie Brown. and Tara.
Oh God.
Yeah,
By the
so
way, so you saw that they announced that Brainiac is gonna be the villain of Man of Tomorrow, right?
I mean that was already known.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but someone called out and says, "I never." And it's quote, to quote James Gunn, "I never said Brainiac was in the movie." And then someone says, and that's
He
true. And then James Gunn himself responded with, "Exactly. I never said it before today. Although I've teased the hell out of it, and now I've said it, bro,
I
bro.
mean
No wonder the
Gunn
dude loves Tom King."
Gunn is very complicated with, certain things. He's chronically online and he is it's kind of like he's trying to get ahead of scoopers while it's a 50-50, um percent chance that the scoopers will get things right. But with him trying to be funny about that, he makes himself look like a liar. But I mean, Brainiac was already teased within the sneak peek or the behind the scenes of the first Superman movie, so that was a thing before. And then the fact that he also posted the script or the storyboards for Man of Tomorrow, and he had uh the brain image, you know,
Mhm.
and having Lex Luthor and Superman team up, it was kind of already there. You already know it. It's just the fact that he's, like I said, he's trying to be smart and funny, and it's not
It's
smart or
very
funny.
not funny. Yeah, exactly. And then says I rather read Absolute Wonder Woman than mainline Wonder Woman. That's not exactly a high bar, Parker. That's like saying I'd rather have a nice ham and cheese sandwich or a sandwich made of dung. It's not that hard of a choice. It's unfortunate Paramount isn't buying WB. Yeah, but they lied about the deal. So they lied about their offer. It came out. So it's like, isn't that interesting?
But also, I mean, that would have been a a terrible um a terrible deal. It would have been more restrictive of creativity. They already have this trouble with um, you know, green lighting things. And I don't think that we will be able to even get a fair shot at Wonder Woman or other female characters. And it just feels like it would be very, like I said, strict or by the numbers type thing. Of course, you have a lot more Batman either way it goes, whether it's Netflix or Paramount, but it's still the fact that um, I just don't see it as an avenue for diversity.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so let's talk about Christmas. So let's talk about how these couples would celebrate Christmas.
Yes, so of course we've had, you know, DC and Marvel has had like specials, throughout the decades of holiday anthologies, things like that, little stories, even within just whatever comic. Um, and you get to see, how these couples function, even as, they're looked upon as godlike beings, they still have this moment of peace and quiet and just this holiday joy. We have even Batman, um, you know, 89. I think that is considered a Christmas movie, especially,
The sequel, yeah.
yeah. So you have that, and it's cute, it's campy, you know, especially the kiss under the mistletoe with Selena, things like that. So you have that to show that this couple obviously is very dysfunctional, but it's just something that gives you that look inside um of these couples, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yep, hell yeah. So And then Dave says, I like the first Wonder Woman Christmas story where she talks to a tree. That happens? Interesting.
Wait, what story is that?
Yeah, what story is that? Or is that like a joke, Dave? Let me know. Anyway, so the interesting thing about covering Superman and Wonder Woman is that we have done Superman and Wonder Woman we have actually covered the two Superman Wonder Woman issues that they've done about it.
Well, it wasn't necessarily issues. I would say that it was more within an issue.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was like 1.5. How's that?
Exactly. Something like that. So yeah, we get to see how, again, these godlike beings are actually very humbled. And of course, I hate the word human and grounded, the words, but yeah, that goes within it. And they're just trying to function in their own unique normal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like the thing is, no, here's the thing about when it comes to superheroes versus humans. Here's with that normal thing. I want to talk about that for a second. Here's what people keep forgetting about that. With these types of characters, normal is a very relative term.
Exactly.
So it's like what's normal for them is like an average day. Superman probably wakes up, drinks some coffee, has some pancakes, says "I love you" to Diana, goes and punches a Lex Luthor in the face because that never gets old. Writes a story for the Daily Planet, comes home, he's got an Amazon waiting for him. Pretty normal day for him.
Exactly. Everyone's normal is vastly different. Even as humans, we have a different normal. You have different family traditions, you have different interests. What you see as normal, I might not. Even your certain preference of food or something, you know, that is.
Or your preference for the Halle Berry Catwoman movie.
I mean, as I said, it was like like I don't know, 3 years ago or so, 5 maybe, and I was bored, and I was like, oh, okay, it, it was entertaining for the moment, so.
Now, how about the moment after?
I mean, now to know it is it's very. I mean, Halle Berry, she takes it in stride, so I would take it in stride that it was a guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll give you that. So let's talk about Superman 165, The Weight of 1,000 Years. Now, this is technically a follow-up to a bait and switch Beloved. That's what I'm
I
calling it from
mean,
now on.
they had multiple follow-ups with this.
Mm-hmm.
It was one from, of course, Wonder Woman 170, when you have, Diana trying to assure Lois that, you know, they don't have feelings for each other, that Lois is the only one, and yada yada. Um, you also, it's one more, but oh, you also have where Meeks, whatever his name is, he um kind of trolls Clark, saying that how weak he was, basically that he, missed out on a chance to be with Diana. But he said, basically played tonsil hockey with her. So that was that a moment. And then we have this one, which out of all three or so, this one is the best one and more genuine because.
Also, I'm sorry if I'm going to say that Clark and Diana have a very like brotherly sister relationship. I would believe that up until the point I see the image of Diana on top of Clark, their breaths and twinning. Oh, and wait, the image below this that got cut up because of the PowerPoint slide, her shadow is on him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. It's like if like it's only people from Alabama see that and are like and like no, they're just like brother and sister, and I'm like, hello.
That's, that is a big container of sugar honey iced tea. Um,
Also, when she says, "This is twice today I've pinned you," okay.
yeah, you have the shadows of her pinning him, and then you have the last image where it's like, are they kissing or what is this, a hug?
I love
You
the
don't know
penguins watching them too.
exactly. I mean, if you want to be one of the penguins to, they have a show. But as you said, this is a follow-up to the very misguided Immortal Beloved. Um, and Clark is having issues, with, I think Lex is president or something at this
Yep,
point.
yep. At this point,
And
yes.
he is, trying to figure out what to do. Is getting to him. He's frustrated and everything. So he goes with Diana to um
He calls
kind
Diana. Hey, Diana, can you come and help me relieve some stress?
exactly, which yeah, very subtle there. Um
So they
so
went to the Conrad School of Subtlety, huh?
right.
Oh,
So
this is what Diana meant when she says, "I assure you, Clark knows a thing or two about getting his hands dirty."
yeah, among other things, but yeah. Um
That's like,
so they are sparring, we'll call it that. And I guess she, not only that, but she also says, as a woman, who's your best friend? And it's kind of like, okay, best friends don't do this. But she says that, and he helps her up. And she also tells him to go spend some time with Lois. And with that said, you know, everything that she's saying pretty much went one ear and out the other. And he gives her the little miniature hammer, and she says, what is this? What is this for? And he says a thank you. And then they have this very intimate embrace. That again, you don't know whether it is an embrace or they actually kiss. You don't know. But to me, and this story, like I said, is much better and eases, Immortal Beloved. But it shows that their relationship is very complicated. Even when they want to bury those feelings that they have, obviously they can't bury, any of those unresolved feelings. They will continue to have this sort of tension. And even if they are trying to be best friends, they're very much best friends with benefits.
oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and it's I remember when you and I first started talking, chatting on Discord. This was one of the things I was sending you, and I go, I miss when Diana was allowed to be drawn sexy because she hasn't been drawn like that, like attractive in a while.
I mean, we can skip the the thong because I mean, just
Well, the thong,
riding up.
yeah, that's beyond that. But it's like, hey, at least Diana it doesn't have her hair in a stupid braid.
Man, that braid, you almost had me say something. That rat tail was like,
Ah, well, it works because it's a mouse man.
I mean, I think that was
Remember, Britt,
probably
mouse man knows.
Mouse Man gonna get pew-pewed. Um, but yeah, it's true that Diana's like beauty, attractiveness or whatever has been reduced, and I think that's because of the sort of conservatism that DC um, you know, has tried to enforce. Um, I mean, remember during New 52 when they were saying that Superman and Wonder Woman together was too sexy and or
Oh
risque,
yeah, it is.
So yeah, and of course, no one thinks that Diana with Steve is sexy. I
You know
mean,
what's kind of funny? You know what that kind of says? That they're like, okay, so Clark and Lois is very bland by saying that.
yeah.
It is,
So
but that's but I just love that Chris is like, oh, okay, so you're telling me the other ones are like milk toast? Yes, they are.
well, yeah, that's true.
They
So
definitely are.
so so yeah, you have I don't know, I guess like I said, it's the conservatism. It's just the art styles, that they choose is very cheap, and they just don't know how to really capture, these characters as they once were. And especially too, because with them trying to have, John, Lizzie, Damien, that generation of focus, it, Clark and Diana are supposed to be at least in their 50s or something now, timeline wise. So yeah, they aren't going to be attractive. I mean, they were attractive or whatever in Kingdom Come, but that was a different story. Mainline right now, no, they're not. They're very boring, boring middle-aged people.
By the way, speaking of unattractive Lois, if you've seen the way Lois is drawn in Superman, the Kryptonite spectrum,
Well, she's supposed to be 40 and old and
well, here's the
wrinkled.
funny part. That version of Lois reviled both Robert and I to the point where every time we show up, it'd be like, "Oh, holy hand grenade!"
I mean, first of all, that just shows how problematic Lois is because a woman in her 40s, you do not age like that. You are not that wrinkled, you
Oh,
know.
and do you know how that book ends, Britt?
Yes, where she ends up having to take care of a literal man child.
Which is funny about that because I told Robert this. I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be really awkward because now she's going to have to change her husband.
Well, they're not married. They actually broke
Well,
up.
boyfriend. Well,
It's it's the
like this
fact
way,
that
she's gonna be changing the diapers of a man she has slept with.
yeah, that is very creepy.
I'm
It
like, what?
is.
No
The
one
thing
thought this
is,
through.
the point is, it was basically having your cake and eat it too. Lois is old, so she can't have kids, on her own. And it was set up pretty much that even Clark, like, even if they wanted to, they couldn't because of the DNA thing. I think they were keeping that um within that story form. But for her to have her happy ending and for him to live in this way because they wanted to give him kryptonite cancer, he became the baby that she wanted, you know, which is yeah, it's not romantic, it's not poetic, it's not a happy ending. It's very, very weird. It's honestly, if you wanted to invoke Silver Age, there are some things that you just don't do. Like that was in the 60s or whatever, and a lot of the things in the 60s has aged like powdered milk. We do not need it.
Oh yeah, exactly. But still, so then we get to Superman Wonder Woman #3, The Gift You Can't Buy. And I love this because this is the one where it shows like Diana becoming like learning how to learning like more the customs of man's world. In other words, with like Christmas. And she's like, she's experiencing her first Christmas as someone in a relationship, which proves that she and Steve were not together that long because you she didn't celebrate it with Steve, but I guess they were together for only a couple of months. But the other thing that I really like about this is she because the thing is the her mission is okay. So so you have the way it works that you should get your significant other something that they can't get easily on their own. So Wonder Woman's like, I'll get him time off. that is so perfect.
Right. It does invoke the for the man who has everything, which Cal does. I mean, he can fly wherever he wants to. He can have anything he wants. So, what is the one thing that he doesn't have, can't get easily, is time because, you know, the world has so much expectations of him as Superman. And even as Clark Kent, he is still a reporter that's always on the go. So Diana gives him this very special gift of the heart, of love, patience, and time to just be together. And that is what the holidays is about, really, is it's not just the, gifts. It is about being with the people or the person that you love. So yeah, that was
Exactly.
very cute, and it really showed, how I'm gonna say more so down to earth or whatever Clark and Diana are, and especially Diana, because we see, honestly, if I would say if we ever um had the chance to have Charles Sewell back as a writer, he can definitely invoke that George Perez feel
Oh
because
yeah.
he really does get Diana. And in this moment, not in the moment where she's with Cal, but also the moment where she's with Hesha. But you feel that sort of Perez inspiration influence there. And yeah, you know, so many people want to ignore this, but this with Power Couple, it showed everything that, you know, um, detractors, antis, argued about Clark and Diana's relationship. It was debunked within this book.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about this with the Superman Wonder Woman series, that even in the series, because one of the criticisms that Britt and I encounter all the time of Super Wonder is that, oh, it just turns Diana into Clark's girlfriend. It really doesn't, because this book shows it really, really, really doesn't. Because again, if anything, it was mostly her stuff, because short of Zod, they've spent a lot of time with the gods. Or it's like, let me put it this way: there was a certain B word, Britt, that I say every single video I do on this channel. It's almost like it's a word that exemplifies Wonder Woman perfectly, that makes her not a contradiction like a certain writer that has no idea what the hell he's doing. So, Britt, what's that B word that I keep
Right?
using all the time?
Balance. Balance is always about
Bingo.
balance. Right.
That's what it is. I mean, and
And
this book was perfectly balanced in terms of Superman's world and Wonder Woman's world. What do you want to say?
and it's also kind of funny that you brought up a certain writer because for people to say that Diana is just Clark's girlfriend or that she's reduced in her own
Steve.
book, she has been reduced, and
Actually,
now
Britt,
she
in 2 books.
rebirth and this one.
No. Trinity and King's Wonder Woman.
I mean, she not even it's not even a reduction in the Trinity book. She doesn't exist at all.
Have you seen that statue?
I mean, she didn't have anything to reduce. Like she's already at the bottom. That's what I mean.
Okay, that's true. That's true. But yeah, isn't that interesting how that works? And yes, NJ, we are definitely going to check out Wonder Woman 2930. At the very least, it'll be nice 2 months without King on Wonder Woman. That'll be very nice. At least 2 months. Buy those books, because at the very least, if those books sell pretty damn good, guess what? And then the sales go back to the regular crapshoot that they are now. That is a big indicator to DC that maybe a creative change is in order. By the way, NJ says, if DC is just conservative, then why Zatanna and Black Canary still dressed like that? Why not? Why just Diana? I think it's because when it comes to their costumes, because of Wonder Woman's position as a member of the Trinity, they want to for lack of a better term, minimize the sexiness of Wonder Woman in order to appeal to young girls. What do you think, Britt?
Yeah, it's more of like a have her reserved. I mean, remember her being ambassador was stripped away from the UN, and the main complaint was, how she dressed. And and they
Mm-hmm.
also talked about the BDSM, you know, things that was in the earlier comics. So yeah, now you have to be very careful with how Wonder Woman is perceived. If you want her to be that influence and that inspiration for young girls, and also not be stripped away of anything else, that it really was embarrassing, because Diana is the epitome of female empowerment and feminism, the right kind of feminism. But if the stories are sexualizing her, reducing her, if she's dressed a certain way, you know, it's not aligning properly. So
And,
yeah, they
and
do have
NJ,
to.
and NJ, I know Wonder Woman is supposed to be like to represent female liberation and freedom. And Britt and I agree with you on that. It's just the thing is DC does not, because again, the rules apply differently for like the Trinity, and because they are like the exemplification of this. And by QT says, any chance the Supergirl movie won't suck? I don't know. I'm hoping it.
It's
This is
a
the one movie I hope doesn't suck, because the same woman that's writing the Supergirl movie is writing Wonder Woman.
So far with the test screenings, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's good.
People have
It's
said
past.
Superman is better, actually. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's very in between. It's a 7. I think the from the first test screening or so, it
Mhm.
was a 7 out of 10.
That's not bad. By the way, Dave, actually, it's kind of interesting. Is oh, the Wanda Burka. Well, guess what? She has worn a burqa at some point in some of her stories, because Diana's one of those things. She respects the customs of where she goes to. It's like if she's going into a country where a woman's supposed to wear a burqa, she'll wear a burqa.
Exactly. Diana is very in um
Accepting of
immersed
cultures, or oh yeah,
in,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, in different cultures, and she loves it. She loves to learn, um and because that is her function. How is she able to bring everyone together and bring peace, is for her to learn how these different cultures function.
And by the way, Luffy, oh my gosh, Luffy, he goes, I fully expect it to suck. In fact, I want it to suck. We don't need Tom King getting any more. If this movie fails at the same time as Wonder Woman run, he will lose credibility. If this
That's
and
true.
Lanterns fails, and his Wonder Woman fails, Luffy, yeah, this won't look good on his stuff. And with a sale coming in, I could see them doing restructuring with the writing staff of DC Studios and him being. But here's the thing, Luffy. If he loses the job at DC Studios, he all of a sudden has more time to write Wonder Woman issues. His workload with DCU is what's pulling him away from Wonder Woman. Do you
Well,
really want that?
well, he actually has Mr. Miracle, the animated show,
Yeah, but that
and
could get a cranked Brit.
well, actually, because Tom King is a man, he will only get a slap on the wrist, especially being he's James Gunn's friend,
Well, and
so
also only getting a slap on the wrist. That basically describes his entire writing career.
true. I mean, DC showed it when Batman started to fail, and Heroes in Crisis, failed, but they've given him even his mini series or his out of continuity books, they have all failed. But he was able to um, be pitched Wonder Woman, like, he's being rewarded. And even if Supergirl does flop, it's really going to go on Anna because she is the writer of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and anything else, Lanterns, even though he's not the primary writer, he was just within, I think it was two more
But the
writers.
primary writer, the showrunner, has said it's basically his show.
Yeah, but I think that they were trying to give a little PR because he is a comic book writer too. So they wanted
Okay.
to.
Well, okay then. If Mr. Miracle flops, then.
Now that's really all on him. That's, I mean,
And
Kite
let's
Man
be
failed.
honest. Let's be honest.
Kite,
When Mr. Miracle flops,
but Kite Man failed, and that was his too.
isn't that funny? It's almost like no one gives a crap about these characters. Anyway,
Right.
Britt. So why do these nice Christmas moments matter?
Okay. Well, first, again, it's showing how Clark and Diana are these very uniquely normal individuals, and as a pairing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's like all of the refutations to people about all this is like all of all of these points are the refutations for all of the criticism. And again, when people bring up that like new 52 Wonder Woman was subordinated, I go, you obviously didn't read the first 12 issues of Superman Wonder Woman. If you want to go with the rest of them by Tomasi, yes, we can make that argument. But but by Sewell, I'm sorry, no, you didn't actually read. Or when they say that new 52 Superman was always like brooding and stuff, and I go, no.
Saying always this, always that, saying this, a lot of times these people don't read. They look on TikTok or Twitter
Or
and
they're
go,
bots.
yeah, and they go within the popular opinion, and sometimes the popular opinion is obviously wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so then we've got a little. So let's talk about the main meat of this episode. All right, so let's do with actually wait. So let me see this. Her being in Trinity is destroying her character. It's removing everything that Wonder Woman should be all about. Anyway, because it's not even conservatism, NJ. It's just bad writing. Because you could write a conservative-ish book and not have it be like Trinity. And here's the thing: King is not a political conservative. I can tell you that. He's very much not. So it's like, why is that conservatism?
Yeah, no, he is a liberal, or he claims to be. It's just the fact that he does not know how to write.
And particularly does not know how to write female characters at all, which is kind of funny because that's what people keep giving him. And it's like, but have you seen what he did to Catwoman and Dinah Lance?
Right. The fact that Selena's like only her dialogue was just to say meow was very cringe and weird.
Or like, how about the fact that in Black Canary, he brings back the idea that Dinah wears a wig, even though it's established now she doesn't wear a wig.
I think what he's trying to do is, invoke, and he's not even honoring. He's very much dishonoring the golden age, silver age, bronze age, pre-crisis type, and he wants to make it seem like he knows those deep cuts and lore of that time. But yeah, he just likes to twist things.
Yeah, exactly. Which anyway, but so I want to repeat this for the people in the back. They're not strong because their love is not about strength. I'm just gonna tell you. I know because last couple of times we've had people come in here saying it's all about the strongest man, the strongest woman. And I go, all about it? You clearly aren't paying attention. But yeah, okay. Cameron, by the way, says he ruined Selena because I see some fans saying that she was a W, S, and B word for leaving Bruce at the altar and she doesn't deserve him. Yeah, I know.
Well, that is misogyny.
Exactly, right? But he's the writer that inadvertently creates misogyny. Anyway, so let's talk about how these different couples are. So Britt selected a bunch of the couples that we've covered. Trust me, if we went through every single couple that we have covered on this show, that would be a long ass episode for 4 or 5 hours probably. So we picked the some of the best ones, and some of them are featured here. And Britt, there's even more evidence that Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris are about to get married, and DC will actually follow through on this. We'll see what happens.
Will they?
We'll see. But it is Jeremy, and as you know, as a Green Lantern reader, he can make it work.
True. But I mean, I guess that's cute. You know, they are. Honestly, it feels more like they are trying to end this verse, though, because once you start marrying, the characters off, it's like, yeah, you can do things with them married, but at the same time, it feels like the end of the story, and you're running out of ideas, to a certain
It's like Scott Snyder keeps trying to assure people that's not going to do a reboot, but I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Because Scott Snyder had this idea that like an event should be a good story, and B, the universe should look better than it did before the event. And I go, okay, well, Scott Snyder, you DC Metal was a good story, but the universe went to hell. And with this event, it's okay. I'm not going to say that like KO is trash, because I enjoy some of the stuff in KO, but it's just okay. And the universe, you're bringing a bunch of D-list books, and your sales are crap. So what are you talking about here?
I mean, he's not looking at all the other sales. He is looking at his own.
I know. And the only reason why KO is selling that well is because of those damn blind bags that people keep buying because they want to get those rare variants. That's why it's kind of honestly dishonest when he points out, look at how great our sales are. And I go, you're not telling them the full story.
Right. Is very much the only sales that are, over the top is his Batman, Absolute Batman. And that is basically what's keeping DC afloat.
Yeah, exactly. So then, so Britt, tell us about, okay, so there's this couple. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of them. It's called Superman and Wonder Woman. So Britt, tell us about how these D-listers would spend Christmas.
You know what? You joking, but DC does treat them like D-listers.
Mm-hmm.
So again, as we saw, whether it is them as friends with benefits or being an actual couple, their holiday planning or togetherness is all about reserving time for each other, being each other's peace, to summarize it all up. And it is something very warm feeling. They are getting to know each other a little bit more also, and just having fun. Again, as you see in Power Couple, you see Clark and Diana's, yeah, they want to protect the world, but at the same time, we see them just wanting to have a peaceful evening together, whether it is sitting or standing on the balcony of Diana's condo or going out to London club hopping. It's those little things like that that really matters and put the realness into these characters. And again, I don't like to use this, but as it should be in the positive way, make them human.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. It's like every time I love how people, because these people, every time that Britt and I talk about them being human, we have to include that addendum.
Yeah, I can't stand it because that is something that should never be questioned, especially with Clark and Diana.
I would imagine. So let me ask you this. So in terms of like, so what type of gifts do you think that Clark and Diana would buy each other? Because for me, I could see Clark getting Diana something that's meaningful to like ancient Greece, like maybe like a statue or something like that of one of the gods or something like that. What do you think?
So with Diana, she would definitely have some type of Kryptonian embroidery for
I like
him,
that.
like some type of tunic or something for him to wear. She would also, or she would, what Jarrell had, like the headpiece, she would have something like that. She would also make him have something like a pen, for him, knowing that he likes to write instead of be on the tablet. Um, and for Clark, what he would give Diana, he would definitely create some type of diamond, like jewelry for her in the
Oh, I got
fortress.
it.
Um,
He would create like a diamond necklace in the shape of the Wonder Woman logo.
exactly. He would do something like that. He would also create just a statue of her. Um, yeah, it would be something very simple but meaningful. He would probably do the same for her as like getting her some type of journal
Hmm.
because Diana does like to write. She's not a journalist, but she likes to write and read books. He would also probably get her books as well.
I
So
like
that would
that.
be something.
I like that. And what would Diana buy Clark? What do you think?
Well, as I said, it, she would the embroidery.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She
Sorry.
or yeah,
Mhm.
or something that
Oh,
resembles.
oh. Clark gets Diana an ice cream maker. Well done, Cameron.
That would be. He wouldn't even go buy it. He would definitely build it himself.
Hmm.
He would definitely do that. So it could, like, every flavor she could think of could be made.
Yep, exactly. It's like a Kryptonian ice cream maker that he engineers. Just say whatever you want, it makes it.
And Bruce is gonna be like, so you are really using Kryptonian technology for an ice cream maker.
It's an ice cream maker for my significant other, Bruce. And then Bruce goes, "Carry on."
Yeah, because it's like, didn't you let Selena like go rob the jewelry store
Well,
a
yeah,
couple
because
of days ago?
there's the saying "happy wife, happy life." So it's like even Bruce and Clark are like, "Yeah, yeah, you're good. Carry on, carry on."
Right.
Oh, it would be even better if Diana's pregnant, and then Clark goes, "Have you seen Diana when she's craving ice cream?
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a hormonal Amazon, bro."
Oh yeah, you better not touch her ice cream at that time. True.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then Green Arrow goes, "I should borrow Selena's whip." And then Superman goes, "Watch it, Ollie, or we'll tell Dinah about your secret boys trip to Vegas
With Hal. Oh
with Hal."
gosh.
And then Hal's like, "No, don't tell him."
Because he would have to deal with Carol.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, bro, I would have to deal with a pissed off woman that has a magic ring. That's not any better. But anyway, so then we get to Black Panther and Storm. Explain.
Okay, so this is more of like a cultural thing. And also, of course, you're incorporating the X-Men, and they are more so giving than receiving. So it's not um, no real gift exchange. It's more so their gift their um, to their people.
You know, it'd be hilarious is if so, like Iceman shows up and he goes, "Hey, what's up, cat-in-law?" and he goes, "Hey, hey Logan, does this make you related to Black Panther now?
Oh my
You're
gosh.
both cats, right?" And then Wolverine just pops his claws in one hand. Hire me, Marvel. I will fix your damn company. So that we get to. By the way, what would Storm and Black Panther buy each other?
See, that's the thing.
I know what he would do. Black Panther would give Storm like a necklace or a bracelet made of the same vibranium from his suit.
Exactly. It would be something like that. Like, honestly, Cal and T'Challa, they would create the gifts. They wouldn't go buy them.
And Storm, she has like powers over the weather. She creates with like snow and stuff a little like ice charm for T'Challa.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So then we get to Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris. Yes.
Okay, so these two, it's very dysfunctional. It's a lot of drama, a lot of laughs. You know, Hal is he's trying, E for effort. What he would get Carol, honestly, he would go buy her a card and flowers because he forgot it was Christmas.
he tries no, here's what he does. All right. So Oliver is walking through the Hall of Justice and sees Hal take out his wallet and put cash in an envelope. He goes, "You're getting her cash?" And then Hal goes, "I get her."
Yeah, he would definitely. It would be kind of like, well, I'm your gift, honestly.
Yeah. And then Carol goes, "That's a little egotistical." And then Oliver goes, "Have you met Hal?"
And then I would, Carol giving to Hal, I would say she would probably give something very reminiscent to his father. Um,
Oh, here's what they do. So what she gets him is so you know how like Air Force pilots have those patches on their uniform. She gets him one that's like a memorial patch for his father.
see, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That works. And then Hal finally, what Hal actually does. All right, here, you're gonna love this. All right, he gets her a sapphire that goes around her neck like a necklace.
Oh, that's neat.
Because she stars Sapphire. So I'm like,
Right.
hey, and then Hal is like, "Did I do it?" And then Oliver goes, "I mean, it's a little derivative." And then Hal is like glaring at me. He goes, "And what'd you get, Dinah, bro?" And then Oliver goes, "I haven't figured that out yet." But I love how none of the men have figured out what they're going to get their significant other.
Right.
Oh, Cameron. Okay, hear me out. Hal writes a speech dedicated to her about how he was an ass for how he treated her over the years and promises that going into their new life, he will treat her like a queen. That's also something Hal would do. So I'm cool with that. So Britt, let's take the plunge into the pool and talk about Aquaman and Mira.
Okay, so with them, just like Black Panther and Storm, there is more of a giving to their people. And this is also about them um functioning the sea and land, you know, so they will spend half the time in Atlantis, and other time um on land with the isn't Aquaman based in California? So the locals of
Maine.
oh, okay. So the locals there, and yeah. Uh,
You know what
as
Arthur
far
does for Mira? I know what he does for her. He reunites Atlantis and Zebul, finally bringing their two peoples together.
That's nice. I mean, it took him a while. It's like,
Well,
oh,
yeah, but he's like, no, she brings that up, and he goes, "Have you seen Poland?"
he's like, well, again, E for effort, and this is a big thing. So,
He goes, "I
Merry
had to
Christmas.
get Diana's help."
That's true. Yeah, he would definitely need Diana.
He's like, "Please help me. I don't know this diplomacy stuff." And then I could see, you know what? I could see Amira getting Arthur. So you could say that like there's a particular like fish that like is like discovered, or it's called the Arthur, or something like that, or she gets him. No, here's what she actually gets him. She makes a out of the water, which then later is frozen into ice, a like statue of like his father.
Oh, I like that.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. And so yeah, that's a fun one. So then we have, all right, Rogue and Gambit of the X-Men.
So this is definitely a down home going to New Orleans type thing. They're
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to have a New Orleans Christmas. And of course, Gambit is going to cook his gumbo or things like that. Um, you know,
Rogue takes him to a rodeo.
yeah, it's definitely just them, you know, very, and again, in a positive way, a very down south Christmas holiday.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and you could have so for Christmas presents, I could see as a joke, Gambit gets her a Carol Danvers action figure because of that's how Rogue got her like flight powers and stuff. She stole it from Carol. But as an actual like, as an actual present, where could Gambit get Rogue?
A cat.
Okay, that works. He's like, I found a stray cat.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, it would be a cat because I think in the comic books they do have like three. So it's like
What
one
more?
more. Yeah.
And what would Rogue get Gambit? Oh, I got a commemorative card set.
Yes.
It's like oh,
Probably
I know what they do.
customized.
I know what they do. There's like a company that makes like a commemorative playing cards for like each member of the X-Men, and Gambit hates it, so Rogue as a gift just gives it to him.
That or she has them customized and it's like her pictures on them.
Yeah, and then as they go higher up in the suit, the more risque the cards get.
Exactly.
And then you just see him take like all of the like royalty cards and just put them in his suit pocket. He goes, "I'm going to save those for later." There you go. And then speaking of emotional dysfunction, Batman, Catwoman.
Well, here is definitely the it's mostly the Batman movie all over again. And what as far as the gift exchange, I would say that Batman lets her rob the jewelry store, and then Selena, she would probably actually have, you know, with her whole heist thing, I think she would find something very valuable of Thomas or Martha.
I got it.
That
Well, well, well actually, wait. Carry on.
Oh, I was just saying that maybe it was like stolen, and Bruce, even if he is the world's greatest detective, it was just some sort of piece that he
Oh,
could not find.
I got it. This is what Selena does. We take the Superman, Wonder Woman, I'm getting you time, but she does that for Bruce. In other words, she has all of the family take over for Gotham for Christmas, so he doesn't have to.
Oh, that's cute
So
too.
he can be just Bruce Wayne for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
And Bruce gets her is there's this specific diamond that Selena's mom had always wanted. Obviously, her mother's dead, but Bruce buys it for her so she can have a piece of her mother back.
That is sweet. That's the sweetest Bruce has ever been.
Yeah, here's the thing. When properly written, Bruce is actually very like emotional. So you just need to have a good creative team that actually understands the character. But then again, apparently that's too much to ask for.
Right. It is.
Yeah. So and obviously, Britt, you wrote a crossover. So explain.
Of course. So with this is where all of our power couples come together. And basically like a charity event. Not only are they exchanging gifts with each other, maybe, or they're just um communicating. You have like um Diana and Storm talking, cultural, and Black Panther, or T'Challa and Cal, in this sort of, and I would say Arthur too, had a sort of conversation about um, science things. You have the Gambit and Hal probably looking, at the Carol and Rogue, you know, I would say, yeah, Gambit and Hal together would be very funny.
Oh, by the way, Dave has a funny idea. Catwoman adopts Bruce for Christmas. I'm your Martha now. Oh God.
Wow.
And then Bruce goes, "Why did you say that name?"
Wow.
Oh, there you
So,
go. Rogue buys Remy a new deck of expensive golden playing cards, which keep the pictures of Rogue in there because we need that. Oh, I got it. As okay, this is what these cards are, Britt. As they go higher up in like value in the suit, in other words, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She takes it's a picture of her taking an item of clothing off, like her gloves, her jacket, her shirt, all the way down, and then the ace is like her full nude, and then Gambit's like,
wow.
puts on his jacket says, and he says, "Any of you mutants with X-ray vision are dead."
Hilarious.
Oh, this would be great. It's like he unpackages them, flips through them, and he goes, and then I say, "Oh, you got some cards," and then Gambit goes, "Get a Bobby." Or I will have Rogue touch you.
That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's great, and so it would essentially be like one of those anthology books they always put out, except well done.
Exactly. Right, right.
Because do you see with their anthology books that they put out for like special occasions, especially the Pride ones, just don't hit the mark? And I'm like, again, so if you want proof that Diana's not bi, if she were, don't you think they would put the most iconic female character who in this earth is bi as a featured character?
Well, that is Nubia. And
Well, yeah, but I was thinking if
Hippolyta and
Diana was bi, don't you think they would do that?
right, right.
This is so simple.
It is, but yeah.
You never know. And then we have the conclusion.
Okay, so here again, it's all about these couples basically giving now. So it was one, oh, going back to when you talked about the anthologies. So yeah,
Yeah.
the last Valentine's anthology that actually, sold was New 52 Young Romance with Superman and Wonder Woman. Yeah. So every one after that did not sell at all. Um, their
Mhm.
Christmas ones don't sell. Honestly, you don't have a lot of DC's and holiday anthologies selling, except for Pride does sell, and it's really because, well, I mean, everyone knows it's very much the a gimmick of the month, and that's really disrespectful, because you are using something so significant for people to, get money off of, but they know that that is the time of that, particular month. So they do go all out with variant covers and everything like that, and it does sell. And you do have um these characters who are diverse, who have that representation. But, you know, throughout the year, they don't get that sort of representation. And so within that, very short span of time, this is the only time where your LGBTQ fans can really show themselves as being supportive of just this one book.
Yeah, which and then NJ says biracial. I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing: DC doesn't acknowledge that either. So it's like the way I see it, unless she appears in the book as a featured character and not a character that goes through cancel culture, because that Blue Snowman story was like, what the hell? And I'm like, okay, unless she's a featured character in that, which from people that talk at DC looks like that's never going to happen. She's not. It's not me like ignoring stuff. That's DC by their own admission.
Right. And I mean, to go all out with that, and yeah, having Diana among cancel culture, it really showed where they stand, and then you have, um, I believe Tom King actually had an interview during NYCC. It was. And the interviewer was trying to bring up Diana and Minerva. And she said that some people think that their relationship is romantic. And Tom King basically, even though he did bait in the
Mhm.
issue, you know, he still said it's more complicated. So he did not, um,
Also, on that, I love how many people thought he was saying that up, and I go, he literally worships Steve Trevor.
right. For him to dodge that, to say it's just complicated and pretty much reiterate in a very, not aggressive as in, being mean, but it was just that sort of like, this is what he meant, that the relationship is complicated and it's not anything to do with a romantic type feel. Unlike, Greg Rucka trying to twist this creation of Perez in some type of twisted romance, and it's not that. It was never that. So it has to be something for Diana, something genuine, and not just a writers or fan headcanons. Even with having her with, say, Mira in Bombshells. I mean, with that, you have, even with using Bombshell, is very is
And she's
walking a
not with
fine line.
Arthur in that. I love, so there's this one person, I'm not going to name names, that keeps pushing for that. But when she talks about like Superman and Lois, she goes, "Oh, Superman and Lois are like classic DC couple." And I go, "You want to break up Arthur and Mira for your headcanon?"
Yeah, they it's the you know, contradictory contradictions are there. Yes, it is. But You also see in Bombshells, but Lois and Kara are together, and
Wait,
she's
l-
actually
wait, Lois and Kara?
yeah,
Oh, and Bombshell.
yeah,
Well, that is the most surface level. She's a super person. A super person has to be with Elaine. I'm like, what?
yes. So that's the same thing, pretty much that Tom Taylor is doing with Dark Knights of Steel, having Diana with a not Kara.
But Britt, it's
Kara.
not Kara. She's just drawn to look exactly like Kara.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't give a care about the name. That is Kara.
Enough people thought it's Kara, so the narrative changed. It's Kara, bro. But it's really ridiculous. So tell us about the one night and one miracle.
Okay, so as I said, this is basically where the couples, as we've done throughout this, all of our episodes, we show the similarities and differences um of the couples. So this is, you know, here they come together. We have them communicating and talking, mingling together. They are exchanging not again particularly gifts, but maybe just a oh, we had an adventure together and now it's the holidays, we're coming together to have like this grand heroic party like thing. As I said earlier, you have Cal, T'Challa, and maybe Arthur talking about something sciencey. You have Diana, um, Storm, and Mira talking about not only their men but also um, something of a something regarding culture. You have Carol and Rogue talking about Remy and how they love them. They get on their nerves, but it's it's just a fun little mix and match type of thing. Um, but also at the end, they would have this moment where they are with children, like at an orphanage or something like that, or maybe some um, town's kids or whatever, and they basically meet up in the middle of town where this large Christmas tree. It's kind of like if you saw The Grinch and um, they form a circle around the big Christmas tree and sing Christmas carols and stuff. That's basically what that would be.
Exactly. And NJ in canon, I know that Diana has said this, but don't take Greg Rucka's opinion on Diana's sexuality at all. And number two, here's the other thing. Yeah, I understand they don't straight up acknowledge it, but here's the thing. According to creatives that work in the Pride books, they explicitly say you cannot use Diana in that. So what does that tell you? And in terms of Cassia, again, my point still they still let that be published. Yeah, but they didn't exactly say they were together. And then she's been to the island many times, and she's never seen Cassia ever again. So that's what's called in the business a retcon out of canon. Let's ignore the character. Sorry, Britt, I addressed those two comments, but great crossover. I love it. So all the worlds of the multiverse come together in the spirit of Christmas cheer.
Exactly. That's basically what it is.
I love that. I love it. That's really fun. So yeah, so let's get to some reviews. Man, we are flying through all of this stuff, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end and stuff. So tell me about Green Lantern 8, Britt.
Okay, so here first you kind of notice, but it's not too much of a drastic change of the art style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's fine, you know. It's still it doesn't have that level of the original,
Mm-hmm.
artist, but it's passable. Um, this is basically where um how he is going through this it's kind of like the emotional type
Mm-hmm.
issue. And it's more again Jeremy likes to not only close spreads, but at the same time set up certain things that even though it might not be addressed in the very next issue, but it's kind of like he's playing the long game with certain things, which I kind of like. You also get this moment where Hal has to deal with um Carol, and miscommunication, trying to make amends with her and failing, a little bit. And he's just trying to find his footing, after all this time of in space or where he was. It's he now has to settle his roots, and it's a lot difficult than he thought. You also in this issue have a backup with um, Kyle. Yeah, I would say that Kyle is an okay character. I only known him really from JLA League of One,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
By the way,
and
that's finally getting reprinted.
yeah, a deluxe edition.
Yeah, it's finally being reprinted after so many years.
Honestly, that if Wonder Woman is to have an animated movie, that should be like number one.
Yeah, I agree with you. But yeah,
But
so yeah, and with this, trust me, what's being set up here is still is will be addressed. It's actually pretty solid.
yeah, so basically, this issue, like I said, it's closing certain things, but setting things up, and it's very like it says, you're digging into the emotional aspect of everything, and I really just can't wait to get to the point of the Carol's ex.
Oh yeah, the Sad Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're actually approaching that, so that's gonna be really fun. And by the way, NJ, here's the thing: any writer can say what they want. If DC editorial does not acknowledge it, it means it doesn't exist. That's that's the thing, right, Britt?
That is true. I mean, we honestly, writers and editorial, they are basically like headless chickens.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Honestly, if a fan likes what they like and think this certain way about a character, honestly, let it be. As long as they don't like make it seem like their opinions are fact, and kind of like spreading misinformation, then
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's like that's the reason why I go off of editorial, because that's the closest to an objective like idea that I can get to it at this point.
yeah, but editorial does have the final say. So it is what it is.
That's why. So it's like, I'm sorry, NJ. According to DC editorial, she's not. So, and that's from certain people I've heard from DC editorial. So there you go. And yes, Cameron's like, I still want to know what was going through DC's mind with the whole Sad Lantern thing. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that guy, it was such a loser. A new Lantern Corps was formed out of self pity. Oh, so Steve Trevor can join it, and Lois. Or would Lois have her own core, and it's just a big L over her chest?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
then we get to Bomb Queen, and this is Bomb Queen 3, I believe. And okay, this. All right. So far, we've seen that there's a team of heroes that's going to go take out Bomb Queens. There's basically, I swear, Britt, I was waiting when I'm reading the first couple of issues with like the Superman character. I was like, is he going to be a perv immediately? Because I've been conditioned with this damn series that everyone is secretly a dick. So it's like when I'm reading this, I'm like, here we go. Oh, it doesn't happen, at least in this issue. So I'm like, Okay, there you go. And I like that this one, it was honestly a breath of fresh air because the other ones are like hyper violent and stuff, but this one's like, it's less violence, but it's a little more like, for lack of a better term, hopeful, I guess, if that's the term to use for it. Oh,
You
and
definitely.
by the way, NJ, the comic fandom, it's DC should have the guts to say it, otherwise openly. Yeah, but a the a lot of people in the Wonder Woman fandom don't know what they're talking about, and DC should have the guts to say. I honestly, I think they should, but they won't. So, what were you gonna say, Britt?
Oh, what I was saying was, yeah, you will get a little bit of tameness from Bomb Queen, um, for a little bit, and this is kind of where the writer, I guess, he starts to kind of like put himself in a corner. So, and also trying to establish um other characters and the background of Bomb Queen.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a little bit more of like it's a breath of fresh air. Let me put it to that way. And Dave says the sad ring chooses Steve, Trevor, and Lois. The sad Lantern Corps war event only lasts one issue because the heroes beat them by laughing at them and making out with their exes in front of them. Yeah, that would be. I would write the crap out of that issue. I mean, it's not just the Wonder Woman fandom, comic fandom in general. Yeah, and comic fandom doesn't know what they're talking about. As Britt and I talk about every single week. And be careful about that because comic fandom, they act like their echo chamber is correct. And trust me, it's not. So it's like they're operating under the very surface level assumption that just because she comes from an island of only women. I mean, that's Rucka's reason, by the way, for trying to say that. And I go, that is the most surface, lazy ass way of handling it.
Yeah, honestly, it's very complicated when you have supposed professional writers who are more fans first because they put their own like bias within, their writing. And we saw that with Rucka. You know, he anything that he doesn't like, he will let it be known. But it's the fact that how Rebirth was promoted as the return of post crisis, but it really wasn't the return of post crisis. It was a return of this specific writers like their one hit wonder. So you get elements of Rucka's 2000 uh his '03 run, and but he's mixing also DCEU types synergy within that, and he doesn't honor, post crisis, which was established by Perez. You know,
Yeah,
he
he
can,
just wants to change it.
right. I mean, even in his '03 run, he does not truly acknowledge Perez in that um sense of Jimenez did. They all have their unique voice, but Rucka changed drastically. You have Diana where Perez established that she did have a PR agent, that she was, you know, a student, but also having like this ambassador role, that she was this sort of celebrity is in Boston, but Diana, she didn't care for that, that celebrity feel. She wasn't this um untouchable princess that Rucka ended up having her as, where she would sign autographs. And it's kind of like, are you an ambassador, of peace and female empowerment, or are you a movie star? And that was how Rucka began to write her, and that wasn't her. So again, some writers work, but some writers don't. And especially when they are given clout too, that even Dan DiDio, he sort of um alluded to or outright said that some things within Rebirth he was very, regretful of.
Oh yeah, exactly. And yes, if yeah, that's what Nubia's for. That's what DC uses Nubia for, is the gay Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, that's just the way DC handles it, because DC's corporate. That's just the way these corporate companies are like. They know they can't make Wonder Woman like that, so they're like, let's bring in another character that we can use. Okay, there you go. That's the way this kind of works here. And Rucka is not the authority. Rucka and Simone especially, and are not the authority on Wonder Woman's sexuality. Trust me. And Jimenez never really addressed it in his run. I don't care what a writer says outside of his run. It was not in the book. It's not canon. And if DC is not, because don't you think that if DC really made Diana bi or gay or whatever, they would have done a social media post about it?
Yeah, again, it's very much it's an isolated thing, like again, you have Rucka on one end and then
And by the way, NJ pansexual. Okay, here's the problem with that. They're taking Diana loves everything, because what does pansexual mean?
I mean, it is, basically she loves the heart. The parts are not, sort of thing.
which I get Diana is a lover of the heart. She is a lover of life. Um so that can work. You can say that she's pansexual, you know.
Focus on the person's soul, personality, or energy rather than their specific gender identity is part of the broader. Yeah, but the thing is, again, they're never going to. I understand that, but it's like, again, the thing about it is that DC does not deal with something as complicated as that. That's just. And Karen brings up a good point. Why does she can fall in with Ferdinand Lily, and we don't want that? Okay, let's have Diana fall asleep with the dude that's half bull. That's a good idea. It's like,
I
again,
mean, she would
all
just
it
be
is.
Belle.
Yeah,
Rucka,
NJ. All this literally is. It's the writers and some of the fans barely disguised fetishes. That's all it is. Am I wrong?
I mean, no, because they really do show themselves on that Bird app. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it just depends. If you want representation, you have to be respectful. You can't just it's not just about sexualizing a certain character or a relationship. You have to have that emotional resonance to that. And um, how does it function for the character? It's not just living vicariously through the character or having a self insertion or having this sort of fetish type thing. You, it, this isn't just the character for you as an individual, it's for millions of people around the world. And well, yes, it's unfair because why is Diana stuck with Steve? You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, but also it's why they have the multiverse. If you want a Diana with Steve, if you want a Diana with Clark, if you want a Diana with uh,
Well, on that,
Cassia, then
there
you
is an
know,
Earth where she is with Mirror. It's the bombshells Earth. So there you go. You're done.
yeah. If you want that, it can it can work, but they just need to respect the multiverse. And
And
so we wouldn't.
here's the other thing, Britt. Too many writers just use the word representation as just an excuse to not have a good story about it, because just saying she's bi and then leaving that type of hit and run thing, as I call it, that is in many ways more disrespectful to the community you're trying to represent.
Exactly. I mean, look at John. John
Mm-hmm.
was very much a gimmick. He had a
And if anything,
boyfriend,
his boyfriend was the terrorist.
and yeah, and the story was not appealing, you know. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it all depends.
Yeah, but canon DC universe, at least the Trinity, the characters that they're trying to market overseas, I got news for you. They're going to be straight. Because otherwise, that significantly decreases the amount of countries that they can show Diana stuff. Just saying, guys. But anyway, so Britt, speaking of Wonder Woman, all right. Tom King's Wonder Woman, the Demon Spawn, number 28. So, Britt, so you know what's interesting about this? So we get to the issue where Matriarch kills Wonder Woman's villains. So we also have, again, Vanessa referring to Diana as my woman. So he's still under the false assertion that Vanessa's in love with Diana. She's not and has never been in love with Diana. So he's an idiot. Big surprise. So Grail shows up. And Grail is the daughter of Darkseid, my friends. He kills... Matriarch kills Grail off screen. Britt, please help me. Oh, and Harley's popular stuff? Not anymore, she's not. Harley is not popular anymore. She lost that when her movies flopped. And her comics sell like crap. Anyway, Britt, your thoughts on this? I love that. And Cameron, I wish I could say psych. Yeah, off screen, Grail shows up. A couple of things happen. The next time we see Grail, she has a sword in her chest.
So, I'm trying to articulate this in a without saying words. Let's see. So first of all, he's very much a pervert or something like that, because where in the hell did he get the idea that Vanessa was in love with Diana?
I have no
That is
idea.
her sister. Like, first of all, Diana is 19 years old when she meets Vanessa when she's 12. And
Yeah!
and that the whole thing is that Vanessa never had an obsession with Diana. She loved Diana as her big sister. And I think who had an obsession, or it wasn't so much as an obsession, but well, yeah, maybe it was actually Vanessa's friend who committed unalived herself, and because she was jealous of Vanessa. But everyone and their mother and their father, grandfather, grandmother, and whoever else knows that Vanessa was Diana's sister, and Julia was her adoptive mother. Now, there was someone who tried to ship Diana with Julia, but they definitely got dog walked on the Bird app, for that.
And deservedly.
Yes. So that's that. But for Tom King to act like he has read every single issue, that he is honoring Perez, again, how the hell did you get that sort of vibe from Diana and Vanessa? There's no way that you could ever mistake that as some type of romantic relationship. And again, Diana's 19, 20, and you are twisting this with a 12-year-old. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is, we don't see Emily, and she is dead apparently. We don't see Etta. We don't see Matriarch, the baby, Chucky doll number two. We,
Mm-hmm.
thing one, thing two, both of them need to go. We don't see anything. There's no true wrap up. Like, you killed Emily off, but we don't see anything else from her. Um, then you have Batman and Superman being, as usual, hypocritical, contradictory, with Diana liberating an island. But yet Superman can go off world and liberate a world,
Oh my gosh, Dave. Hey, FBI, please check Tom King's hard drive. Oh God.
um so Superman is okay to liberate War World, but Diana can't liberate Mouse Island. That it's so contrived as to why Batman and Superman are having, you know, like, getting mad at her when she is just trying to I mean, she if it was under another writer's pen, this story would be so much better. But it's very difficult when Tom King writes dialogue like they're robotic, or honestly, it's kind of like caveman talk, very much speaking Ebonics or something like that. Because the way Diana talks, like she has, like, she, when you know that English is not her first language, that's basically how he has her speaking. And that is not Diana.
He
English is,
writes her like the dude that directed the Justice League movie and threatened Gal Gadot's career, but said that Gal must have misheard her because her English wasn't good.
yeah, something like that. Um, and you also, yeah, that damn rat tail of a braid, I could not stand. Like, Saint Pierre's art, it it was very good, in some places throughout this run, and in his other work. But so far, I don't know if it's the coloring or it's his art itself, but it's so stiff, and I do not like how he draws Diane. Like, she has this pea-sized head with this big, like, you're trying to give her this big, tall body. Like, it just does not fit.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. And it's like, and by Andrea brings up a good point that Batman and Superman shouldn't be in her book in the first place since she's never in their books. Well, again, because Tom King would rather be writing Batman and Superman, so
I
that's why he has
absolutely
all these
agree.
characters. I mean, remember, Lex Luthor's going to show up in the next arc.
Also, the fact that the next arc has to be set in the future because he doesn't have any stories for the present. Yeah, he needs to go.
You know what, Britt? That's a good thing. You know why? Because anything that happens in this next arc will be completely ignored by the next writer.
Well, it already said a possible future, so it's not even the actual future.
So I'm like,
Obviously, we
why do
would
I care about this?
exactly. Obviously, we would have known that because you can't tell a future story now. Like,
Like it
you,
confirmed this is the future. Yeah.
I mean, the only confirmed future DC had was Kingdom Come for
And then
post-crisis
that was turned into
continuity.
an Elseworld.
Right. So, no, there's never a solid future because things change.
And then, yeah, NJ also brings up an excellent point. Semper's art, yeah, exactly. His art was fantastic in the beginning, and even on other books, his art is great. It's just on Wonder Woman, I think he also has gotten bored and tired.
Right.
And but I have it on good authority from someone that has had conversation with Scott Snyder in the times of like Tom King's Batman, that despite Snyder putting on an act, he's not a fan of King's writing. So it's like, realistically, since Scott is like a big like proponent of like it's since like Scott is kind of like a Wonder Woman fanboy, and I do believe him from like how he wrote like Death Metal and such, even though it was a Bat book. I do kind of think, and here's the thing, Britt. Where as it applies to the Wonder War, as this is the arc that like supposedly wraps up all of like his story plot threads or like matriarch, because everything is about the matriarch according to Tom King. I wouldn't be surprised if like he leaves the book after this arc.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to leave after this arc, but it's the fact that he's going to drag it for like 2 years.
He can't drag an arc for 2 years. There's no way he can drag an arc for 2
I was
years.
exaggerating, but he will try to get to at least issue 50 though.
I would say 40 to 45 is when he leaves, if I would say so, and then maybe they'll give him 5 issues as an epilogue. But he's leaving at around like the 40 to 50 to 45 mark, I think, at the very least, if it's not like earlier than that.
I would say this arc will probably be 6 issues. So if it starts at 31, that would be 37, then a wrap up. Yeah, 40.
Yeah, that's a good estimate, NJ. I say 40 to 45. That would be like, that's my estimation of when I think he handles it, unless the issues just straight up just tank. But because it's like he, even if you notice, because remember when the Sovereign was when the run was beginning, and he was talking all about how the Sovereign is like supposed to be Wonder Woman's Joker and stuff. Now he's changing his tune to making it like, oh, Matriarch was the main villain of the Wonder Woman run all along. And I go, I think he's trying to, because if you defeat the main villain of the run, what else do you have?
Exactly. To say that
Dave, it would be hilarious if Snyder and the other DC writers were gassing up Tom King to the DC film executives, and now they're like, he's your problem now. That would be hilarious.
I mean, that's still a lose-lose because
he's still writing DC.
Right.
But still, it's like, but it's like the very fact that again, the DC again, unfortunately, him getting work in the DCU is the part that's pulling him away from Wonder Woman. It also shows that he doesn't think this, because if he was really passionate about Wonder Woman, he would find a way to stay on Wonder Woman. He would. But obviously, as we know, he doesn't care about this character. He never did.
No, he just wanted to basically have a self-insert of Steve.
And you notice how all of his covers, Diana looks like a villain. Like, look at the top one of Diana with all that fire behind her.
I mean, I'm so distracted by the fact that she looks bald or shaved head.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, yeah. Oh, and also, isn't it like in the last issue of Trinity from the previews, it doesn't look like Steve is coming back?
well, the fact that Wonder War is set in the future, obviously he doesn't have any, the present day story. So yeah, Steve is still dead.
Good. But it's like, that's because I thought that they were going to at least set up time travel of like her. What could happen, this is the way I could see King like trying to redeem this run, or like trying to like make it a closed loop. He does it so the only way to prevent this from happening is to prevent like to prevent Emily from like destroying the like bar, and that erases everything. Unfortunately, it erases Steve's death, but it also erases Trinity and all of this run from ever happening. Oh, Vince Matriarch, Vince Matriarch. It's like, it was me, Diane. It was me all along. So you know what what that's a reference to, Britt?
Isn't that Reverse Flash from Flashpoint?
No. Well, that it's part of that, but okay, so that's a reference to in wrestling. One of the people, the dude that used to run WWE was named Vince McMahon. You probably heard that name before, and before he got like canceled, justifiably so for what this guy did, he used to get involved in the storylines of like wrestling. But it's like so there was this I think it was like a villain that was like terrorizing the wrestlers. So in the middle of the ring, he takes off his mask and goes, "It was me all along."
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what that is. Yeah, exactly. But it's like that's the thing on that. But it's like that would be like where I think that this could go. It's like in order to like the matriarch is so strong that they have to go back in time and prevent her from ever being created. And let's be honest, Diana going back to ensure a child is never born. That sounds like something Tom King's Diana would do.
But I also want to know, like, how did Matriarch basically become who she is? So did she like stay on Mouse Island? Did Etta take her in? What happened to her after Emily
Watch. Oh,
died?
King will make it so she was raised by the Amazons, and that's what made her evil. Remember when Diana is interrogating Mouseman in this? And first off, Mouseman then goes, Wonder Woman knows, and I go, what? And then Diana goes, okay, so I'm gonna leave you here. You can't leave the island, and your people will either kill you or they will like adopt you, but it's their choice. And or I could bring you to Paradise Island, and for what you've done, they will torture you. And I go, tell me you don't. You're saying the third point. Amazons are apparently violent devils. Yes.
Kind of funny how, it was supposed to be a retcon of the New 52 Amazons, but these Amazons are just as violent.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, NJ brings a good point. How is she OP though? She sold the entire Justice League and her Rogues Gallery. I don't know. That's like another wrestling reference. So there's this wrestler named Roman Reigns. And so WWE tried to push him as like the big guy. It's like they had him win the championships and stuff, but the fans were not having it because they saw that like the company was like, you have to like this guy. The fans grew to like him because they actually gave him good storylines. But beyond that, it's like that's what this kind of seems like. It's like, look, the matriarch is so powerful. She took out the Justice League and all of Wonder Woman's rogues and the daughter of Darkseid.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way you think someone would care for Matriarch, and we don't.
If I were the only reason why I would ever care for her is that if I were writing a Wonder Woman story, I would for an anniversary issue, it would be like Wonder Woman takes place in the future, and then I would have it where like Matriarch is just walking down the steps, and then like let's say like Dr. Psycho trips her and she falls. Just completely pants her and go, this is this big threat. She's actually not that important.
I think even in the issue, she does go against Dr. Psycho, and yeah.
Roman Reigns' Superman punch was so dumb. As a Superman fan, I can't say that's dumb. Yeah, so Roman Reigns' move, Britt, is that he jumps and then does his punch. They call it the Superman punch because he punches like this.
I mean,
I'm fine with that. I mean, it doesn't exactly like piss me off, but yeah. But Britt, it's like all of this run is the C word. What's the C word?
My brain went to another word that I probably can't say.
Not that C word.
Contrived.
Yes, exactly. Bingo! Contrived. That's all it is. He needs to hype this character up as a threat. Look at how this character. So Trinity. Here's the story. Trinity needs to go back in time and pull current Diana into the main continuity to save it. Yeah, that's what happens. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
no.
so stupid.
I'm like, burn this run to the ground. I hope the next writer comes on and like completely like pantses this run, like make it where it's the Diana's fever dream, or like you
I
could
mean,
make it where like it
honestly,
never happened.
just no, just reboot the whole verse because Superman is already like at at his end. I think Williamson was supposed to like end his run, if I'm not mistaken, but it seemed like he extended it for another year. So yeah, within probably 2027,
And real
they
quick,
will.
I want to ask you, how much Wonder Woman have you read besides Tom King? I want to ask that. Not another damn reboot. DC needs it. Yeah, how much Wonder Woman have you read outside of Tom King stuff? Okay, continue, Britt.
What was I saying? Um,
You were talking about Williamson on Superman. Apparently, he extended his run.
oh yeah, it was something like he was supposed to end at least 35, but it seems like with KO and All In saying that this is like um or this is act two, and whatever this big absolute story that Snyder, wants to do basically at some point he wants the absolute characters to probably um which they will in KO, I think, meet the main versions of themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so with that, that will go into, well, first he says something about they will have absolute more crossovers by at least by the fall of 2026. Then 2027, it will be meeting probably Prime Earth versions, and that will be, I guess, the end of whatever this absolute KO saga that Snyder wants. So yeah, at the end of that, what else do you have? And even with the level up books, as you said, they are
Those are not gonna last.
D-listers. Yeah,
Watch,
they
all of
can't
them will
last.
be like, well, those were actually supposed to be mini series the whole time, and I'm like, sure.
Honestly, I would say that they will only be like 6 to 12 issue max. And then after that,
Oh,
yeah,
but
what else do you have?
and Nate says, I read George Perez's Wonder Woman and New 52. I like seeing superheroes become parents. Wonder Woman does not have to be a parent. Not everyone needs to be a parent.
Yeah,
That's I'm going to tell
especially
you that right
Diana.
now.
Diana, she is not a she okay. So it's very complicated with Diana because she does have that parental like she she has that persona, but it's not necessarily that she has to have a biological child. And first of all, apparently having biological children is for Superman and Wonder Woman. It's supposed to be eugenics anyway.
I
So
know.
yeah, so that it shouldn't be a thing. Um, Second, it's with an ongoing story and how difficult it is for the writers to write this certain story in the first place. And then you have to balance um the hero, how is she able to function being a member of the Justice League and then feeding the Chucky baby the um she doesn't drink milk. I don't know. She probably like hot
She
dog
drinks
water or something.
expired milk.
Probably hot dog water.
Mm-hmm. I would say so. I would say
Yeah.
so.
So, she got to warm up a bottle of hot dog water. So how is she going to do that and function as a global um ambassador? We don't even see Diana as an ambassador in in any run. You know, at least within New 52, like if, like I said, Charles Soule was to continue on, he would have had Diana as within the embassy, you know, for sure. But with Rebirth and everything like that, we have not seen Diana function in that way.
Oh, by the
We
way,
don't
Dave, leave the Chucky babe in the woods. It can fend for.
exactly.
So I feel like I kind of have to play this clip then.
Excuse me, but I think this is yours.
And that's the DC fan. That's the Wonder Woman fan base. As soon as Tom King leaves Wonder Woman. Oh, and one more.
Hereby complete the mission of the Amazons by ridding this world of you forever.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, it's like we never see her being, because you know why? It's hard for people to grasp that she can be a warrior and an ambassador for truth. It's like what I said in my Wonder Woman misconceptions video, because it's like, here's the thing about that. Saying that Wonder Woman is a walking contradiction, that proves to me inside of one sentence that you don't understand Diana. Because I got news for you. Because again, I'm going to quote U.S. history, because that's apparently what Tom King does in this book all the time. Washington himself has said you have to be prepared for war in order to guarantee peace. It's going to happen. So Diana is very much like peace first. 100%. She will go for a peaceful option first. However, if that fails and the person's determined to have a fight, she will throw hands. It's not that hard.
Exactly. And we love it when she throw hands. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. In the right context. Let me put it to that.
right.
But it's like, again, it's like too many writers have a very surface level understanding of Diana and don't understand what that is. The minute a writer tells me she's a walking contradiction, that's when I lose all respect for them as writers of Wonder Woman. That's when I'm like, I'm done. No, I'm done. You're done.
Right.
And it doesn't matter who. So anyone that has called her that, I doubt their credentials to write Wonder Woman. And don't think. Well, again, Tom King is not writing Wonder Woman. He's writing his own version of Wonder Woman. And if Tom King says he bases these characters off his daughter and his wife, what does that say he thinks about his family?
It's very dysfunctional.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, maybe you should go to family therapy or something like that. But yeah, so let's do a little question and answer session for a bit. So you guys can ask us any questions you want about. All right, Britt. Okay, how do you rate the Green Lantern 8 out of 10?
I would give it a 7.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. Now, how do you rate Wonder Woman 28?
At some point, I might just go ahead and cuss you out or something.
You can cuss me out when we're. Trust me. And as for Bomb Queen, I'm gonna give this one actually an 8, because it's a breath of fresh air after what I just went through. And it's like, okay, and it's like I like seeing like, okay, so we're now a dual Justice League team being formed to fight her, and I'm like, okay, that could actually be very interesting. But yeah, so drop in the chat any of your questions about Wonder Woman, Superman, whatever you guys would like to talk about, and Kelly the Goat would make her an ambassador again. I would say so. I would say that Kelly probably would, if I were to guess, based on her understanding. Are you a fan of Blackest Night? Yes, I love Blackest Night as a Green Lantern fan. I'm sure Tom King lets his family out of their cages and lets them get through exercise every day, as long as they eat their gruel and get their hose again. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far in terms of like describing his family life. But it's like, again, it's like if he says Trinity is based on his daughter, I'm like, what does that say that Trinity punched her mother?
Honestly, King does not know the functionality of mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and Okay, I know someone's going to say it, and it's not. And anyone that's watching this on YouTube, anyone that also says that like only women should write Diana, that
No,
necessarily lead to anything either. We get Gail Simone's Wonder Woman.
but it's a lot of women who, you know, wasn't it wasn't the main book, but it was kind of like the anthologies or even Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman, the
Mhm.
2014
Mhm.
book, digital first. A lot of women, wrote those one shot, two-parter, three-parter uh, stories, and they were terrible. Not only that, but they also had a lot of misogyny and sexism, eh, within it. It wasn't so much of a girls type thing. So no, it does not matter the gender. Um,
Yeah, it's like we had Joelle Jones writing the Lobo book. That sucked. And by Nate, okay, so here's an idea of why the Simone run is horrible. You have the occasion where she was only with Tom Tresser so that she could like make more Amazons, essentially. Her words, in other words. That's why she didn't love the man. And I'm like, that represents a fundamental misunderstanding of Diana. As much as I hate Tom Tresser, Diana would not enter into a relationship with someone purely for the reason of procreation.
so eugenics
So eugenics,
again.
it's eugenics. That's why. And in addition to that, there's like too many inconsistencies with how Diana is supposed to be written in that run for me to actually like for me to actually like take that run seriously as a character.
Yeah, it's not a good run at all.
Yeah, if I like Wonder Woman, but like Green Tom King. To paraphrase Ice-T, I got news for you. That means you're a questionable Wonder Woman fan. Yeah, exactly. It's like that's why I say if that's why I always ask people. That says more like a Viltrumite. Yeah, she wrote Wonder Woman like she was a Viltrumite, but it's like here's the thing. For Dave, that's why if people read Tom King's Wonder Woman and think it's like because there is someone that I know that thinks it's like he gets Wonder Woman's character part and parcel. He's been in the chat before. And I got news for you. If you think that, you're not a fan of Wonder Woman. I'm sorry. I always ask people whenever they praise which Wonder Woman have you read, because inevitably 99.9% of the time they're gonna say, admittedly not that much. And I go, bingo.
Right.
For the most part, Gail's run was good in my opinion, specifically that speech about her being a pacifist. Again, every run is going to have small bits of goodness, but those small bits of goodness in the Simone, and like this way, I like the Simone run more than this run, but it's not by that much. Of the post-crisis runs, Simone is my least favorite Wonder Woman run.
Yeah, it's very um it has its moments, but the overall run is not good. Like I don't even and the thing is Wonder Woman doesn't have many runs that are functional, to be I guess to qualify as a classic or just good to truly get people to like her character. The only run that you have is pretty much Perez run, because
And by
that
the
is
way,
the
Nate,
foundation.
it didn't poison everyone. It didn't poison the Wonder Woman atmosphere. Rebirth did that. Everyone always says that like, oh, new 52 destroyed DC. It didn't. Just stop.
The only reason why people say that is, first of all, it's the go-to thing to blame, because so many fans are going back to thinking post-crisis was the end all be all, but it wasn't. I mean, that is why they ended up with a reboot in the first place. Um, but you have writers who are so stuck within that time. And when Rebirth was, gearing up, that was their PR, was to say that post-crisis is, the right way of knowing these characters. But that's not true because, again, yes, Perez was the template, but I would say it really stopped being the template after he left. And even when he left, before he left, it apparently DC editorial, of course, they want to mess up things. With seeing how well Wonder Woman was received, how she was being established, it was kind of like a nuh-uh,
And Nate, I got news for you. Most of DC's writing is edgy storytelling, even back then. It's not like the new 52 was especially like that. It's not. Everyone always misremembers how edgy the new 52 was, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't buy
You mean
that.
post-crisis?
Yeah. Well, here's the no, because the question here is like, I didn't say the new 50. I'm saying edgier storytelling ruined it in tone itself. No, it didn't. No, most of DC is edgy storytelling, especially post-crisis, and everyone loves that.
I mean, post-crisis had sacrifice. They had
It almost had the rape of Wonder Woman.
you did have the rape of Sue Denby.
Yep, exactly, and that's what led to a DC event. Yeah, Tom King fans have infested TikToks and harassed Wendy, a true Wonder Woman fangirl who disliked Tom King's runs open about turn and fight at the good fight. I've reached out to her. I plan on having her on the channel eventually to like show support, show solidarity, because trust me, us people that hate King's Wonder Woman need to stick together. It was just trendy to hate the new 52 because it was a reboot in the cinema. And yeah, and by the way, Rebirth that was supposed to bring it back, that destroyed DC sales. So that didn't do anything to help. Or,
right.
As Britt says, it's DC Afterbirth.
Yeah, it confused continuity. Nothing was truly the same. You have contradictions of John, how does he exist? Even with having the new history by Mark Waid, look at the fact that they basically gave up. After Flashpoint, they gave up trying to explain what the current continuity is.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, it's and then it's like immediately they're contradicting it. Oh, and by the way, did you know, Britt, that the same person that's editing the JSA book that has the first contradiction of the new issue DC Universe is the same person that edited new issue of the DC Universe?
Excuse me?
Yes, that's true. It's the same editor, Britt. Oh, and by the way, the only way to fix DC is to stop the reboots. That's not the only way to fix DC. The only way to fix DC is to get the editors to actually do their job and to stop Tom King from writing main characters. Yeah, I think you should definitely bring her so we can all bash. Yeah, I plan on doing it. I sent her. I commented on her video, and I'll share it on my stuff as well, so she gets some positive attention. But yeah, but any other questions that you guys would like to ask about Superman, Wonder Woman, Tom King's Wonder Woman, anything that you guys would like to know? Because it's like, again, I'm actually really glad that like the Lobo book came out, because it's like with Britt, then we can point to that and say, here's the thing. It's like, just because by your all's definition, this should have been a slam dunk. But then you have like, what's the word? Then you have this where Joel Jones is admittedly a 90s comics fan. Of course she's going to say Lobo. Of course she's going to gas up Lobo.
But also she is the creator of Yara, so
yeah.
And not only that, but she did want to draw Wonder Woman for
with Batman.
King's Batman, yeah.
So we have to blame for that. To make the Batcat situation better. But buying the gifts, okay. Have the Robins tie him up and go, you are doing this for our mom or we will harm you. And Bruce is like, the F did I get myself into? Yeah, exactly. Oh, can you imagine? Here's the other thing. Bruce also has to get a Christmas gift for Talia.
Oh, joy.
He's like, this is really because then he has to juggle because he can't get a more expensive gift for Talia because then was that make it look like they got Selena. So he's like, how do I price this? So watch, he just sends her cash. I hate to ask this, but would Wonder Woman really win a fight against Lobo? Absolutely, she would.
Yes,
Easily. Easily, she would. Lobo
because the
against
thing
Wonder
is,
no. Yeah, go ahead.
the thing is, it's not about just raw, power scaling. It's not about strength. It's about strategy. And Diana will still, even if the opponent is stronger than her, she can still beat them because she is a strategist.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Diana is a powerhouse in of herself, more powerful than Lobo. It should be the easiest thing in the world for Diana. That's one of the characters I think Diana curb stomps.
She definitely would.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, for Talia, Bruce gets a grape whistle and wears it in front of her. Oh my god. Well, they recently undid that, so like they're not doing that anymore. But so what other questions do you guys have about any Wonder Woman stuff that we got? Oh, she went toe to toe with a bloodlusted Superman while holding back bested him. Yeah, exactly.
Diana is very much underestimated.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's Diana is one of those characters that like when a writer really knows her, she can completely destroy the character. Has Grant Morrison written Wonder Woman? Yes, Wonder Woman Earth 1, and it is horrible. We talked about because it's like with that, what Grant did is that's where you get the Artemis kissing Diana panel that's been used by every Wonder Woman fan that wants Diana to be bi, even though in the previous, in like a couple of pages before, Artemis literally says that, oh, to me, you'll always be a baby.
No, the thing is, it's not even a couple of pages. It's one page.
It actually is a couple of pages because there's like 2 or 3 pages are the fight. The rest of it is like, actually, you know what? I'll get the book. And we can check that. I think it was volume 3. All right. So, Artemis. Let's see. This may have been 2. Oh, here we go. So it is, they find Artemis. Okay, so they fight. Okay. Oh, it is the Hang on. Actually, it is 2 pages because the kiss is on this page and you have a fight here. You have a double page splash, that counts. And then it's like, yeah, to me, you'll always be a child. I was there when you were grown in your mother's alembics. We all took turns winding you. So they all took turns in making Diana. So does that make them her literal family?
Mothers.
Interesting.
That just makes it worse.
That just really makes it worse. Hey, what's up, God damn it. Merry Dead Lois. I mean, Merry Christmas. Sorry, don't know where that came from. Anyway, I think Diana's finally freeing from the demon spawn known as Lois. Love you, Zed. Merry Christmas, buddy. Oh my God, I love that. What? And then, Britt, what actress would you cast for the DC Wonder Woman?
Oh, well, she has to be unknown, honestly, because I'm tired of the expectations of, actresses that kind of already have a platform. And as of who has been like fan casted by other fans, they don't embody Diana. So you need someone fairly unknown, kind of like Corn Sweat, to that can really embrace the character. And also, I would like someone who has a bit of melanin,
Yep.
and give that island girl type feel to her. Um, she also might have somewhat of an accent, just to give off the feel of not so much as being exotic, but just that um I don't like the fact that some people think that she is just an American or that she's some type of valley girl. It
Yes,
needs to
please
be
give
known
consent.
that Diana is a in a sense a woman of color, and a woman of culture, so
And Nate, to a degree, don't go too crazy on him. Like do like a tennis player's build. That's fine for Diana. We don't
exactly.
need her to look super jacked.
Right.
And by the way, Britt, check this out. So this is an image of Diana with a braid, and look at what it should have looked like. This is from the DC Online game.
Yes, that is functional.
That is much better because it's not like held back, like it looks like she's bald. To your point,
Yeah, I don't need bald Diana. She's not bald. Like, I don't even know if, honestly, how were you able to draw such a rat tail of a braid when Diana's hair isn't just long, but it's also thick. So why does she have such a skinny braid?
yeah, and I know that, Nate, but like not like, let me put it this way, not like female bodybuilder like jacked.
Right.
Because there's a difference, because it's like female wrestler, sure. Like, let me tell you this. So this is the type of build that I could honestly accept for Diana. And Britt, you can tell me if this is like too far. So this is one of my favorite WWE stars, Tiffany Stratton, and I think she has a pretty good build for Diana. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's roughly like the sweet spot. Because the thing about it, too many fans for some reason want her to be ridiculously jacked, and I go,
Diana
no.
has never been ridiculously jacked. And the thing is, th- the whole point of like the power fantasy or whatever like that, and really what Marston wanted Diana to be, he wanted her to be feminine. So at that time, of course, you know, um, the she wasn't curvy, but as time, you know, decades or whatever era, you go through, Diana's build as an Amazon. The thing is, when you say a woman is built like an Amazon, in slang term, you think of Megan Thee Stallion, very curvy and a thick woman. Um, she's not overly muscular, but she is toned and athletic. So Amazon's not necessarily is kind of like that over exaggerated Futurama type
Mhm.
animation, that design look or whatever, barbaric like, and it's not a bodybuilder builder type body. It is where she looks like a tennis player, or as I said, Megan the Stallion or something like that. But
By the way, Dave, Sophia Hammond. So I looked her up. I think she looks a little too young to play Diana, particularly with like corn sweat.
They want someone who is in her 20s, early 30s. So
Wait, Britt, do you agree with me? A little too young.
let me see. She kind of looked like a Disney, from what I can see. She looks like a Disney actress. So
I would
let
say
me
no.
see in enlarged.
Oh yeah. Let me see here. Let me see. Well, she was just so she was in Teen Vogue about Freakier Friday, the movie.
Oh, that was this year. Yeah, she looks too young.
Yeah, exactly. Diana needs to be a minimum of 33. No, she doesn't. I don't think so.
Well, that is the requirement, to be tall and at least mid 20s, early 30s. So it would be, well, no, you said the minimum. I, that's actually the max.
Mm-hmm.
That would be actually the max of within that early 30s. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We should have Diana move Jupiter with the next creative team. That would be a great feat. Well, I'll just have Diana list off the fact that she so there was this feat called the like so a god was broken into 1,000 pieces and they were flying in super speed, and Diana stopped them all from reconnecting by blocking them. A thing moving at super speed. It's the speed of light, as a matter of fact. Right? If Britt loves really loves Megan. Well, no, what she really loves is Beyonce.
I mean, I'm a fan. Um, and we're both Texans, so that's that.
Oh, okay, that works.
Um, you know, so yeah,
I think Wonder Woman being 6'1" in terms of hate without heels, of course, Wonder Woman with heels is why. First off, why Wonder Woman with heels is gross.
I mean, the boots, the thing is, Diana doesn't need heels. Like, it's okay for her to have flats if she's tall.
And also, Diana being 6'1", you're significantly limiting the actresses that they can even consider for Wonder Woman.
And the thing is, being tall as a woman is actually just 5'11". Like, she does not have to be basketball player height. She can be
a combat.
5'11".
Yeah, but she's Wonder Woman. It's you don't have to worry about also with Wonder Woman. It's different when it's different when it applies to Wonder Woman. So it was faster than light. Yeah, it was fast. The thing was faster than light. The God thing. Well, Wonder Woman's casting is going to be hard. I'd argue it's probably going to be a lesser known like David or Godot was. Yeah, exactly. And
Oh, for sure.
Women generally shorter. I'm okay with Diana being slightly larger than the average woman because she's an Amazon, but not because here's the thing: too many actresses. And actually, Wendy brought up should I read Absolute Wonder Woman? Yes, you should. By the way, too many Wonder Woman fans, according to Wendy, and I agree with her on this. They're too focused on what Diana looks like physically instead of is Diana respected by the writing and the movie and such.
Right. I mean, we are going to see soon who Wonder Woman will be in January or February.
That will be very interesting. And Elizabeth Debicki is actually 6'1" and looks the part and a fantastic actress. I don't see Elizabeth playing Wonder Woman.
Though.
Yeah, and they're not. But Britt, they can always dye her hair or make her wear a wig. But you want to wear a Wonder wig?
That's what I'm saying. Her tone is not for dark hair.
And again, can we have someone that has an accent from the region that at least a Greek accent or something like that, or at least someone that could do a convincing Greek accent. That's the thing about Godot. You could roughly like get that, like, okay, that's where it goes. That is like she's it's like you, Godot's accent is like compatible with that part of the world where Themyscira realistically would be, so it's believable there. And Frida Gustafsson, let me see her. I've never seen her. Okay, can we agree Wonder Woman is a mainstay Justice League? Yes, exactly. No Justice League in my mind. No Justice League should ever exist that doesn't have Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman on it. That's it. All those other league Justice Leagues I don't care about. And it's honestly, Robert and I went over Justice League International, and I get the point of it, but it was kind of boring to me.
I mean, the point of the Justice League is to have your heavy hitters. It should have been where you showcase like the characters that don't have like solos. But yeah, if you don't care for them on a team, how are you going to care for them with their solos?
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Luffy, I am trying to get her on the show because I think that would actually be really fun. Another person to bash Tom King's Wonder Woman with. That would be very appreciative. Because Lord knows I love to bash me some Tom King's Wonder Woman. I just have to find find her and stuff. Oh man, I love JLI, but hey, I get it. Yeah, it's not for me. If you like it, that's totally fine. It's just not for me. Wonder Woman is a founding member of the league. Removing her would be like removing Superman, but they have done that before. So don't tempt them. Do not tempt them, ladies and gents. But yeah, I think that is a good place to leave it. Britt, what story teases do you have for us?
All right, so I've just wrapped up a one shot, which is yeah, kind of one that I've stalled for a while. So I'm glad to have finished it. And of course, Jared, you do get the chance to read it first before uploading.
Of course, I'm the Access Media.
And then next week it will be time for the update for Shelter, Chapter 4, and also Odyssey Chapter 3. So yay, Christmas time is definitely vacation time, so I have enough spare moments to wrap up these stories that I have been dragging on and uploading the chapters. And I think I will be posting the Twitter thread about the New 52 analysis. If not, it will be the week after.
And is that going to cover her, holistically New 52 or just like Azarello?
The whole thing.
Okay,
I
good.
do. Yeah, I mentioned Jeff Johns, Sewell, of course, and basically the potential loss, and also the inconsistency of her characterization, because even if elements around her wasn't ideal, like the Amazons, Diana herself still was. She was young, had a learning curve and everything like that, but she was still fun. The only person that really screwed over her characterization was Jeff Johns.
Yep, I'll give you that. It's just sad because in that one panel, it's like the other parts of his Justice League run with Diana are actually pretty good. Like I love the scene where Diana is fighting fighting Hal, and she goes, "This gives me no pleasure," but I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah, moments like that, or even just moments where she is being playful or something like that. There are good moments. It's just overshadowed by the worst of, misguided decisions.
Exactly. What was the worst Wonder? What was the worst Wonder Girl? My mind's in the original. Worst Trinity, but I
Is
have
she
to
even
do
a
that.
Wonder Girl?
Well, they tried to make her a Wonder Girl. Well, actually, no, she's a Wonder Robin, so that doesn't technically count. Maybe Yara, because they haven't done anything to redeem the character yet. But as for me, tomorrow at 3:30 or around 3:30, I will be going live for Amazon Answers, where I'm going to be talking about all of the children that Wonder Woman has had in DC lore that are better than Trinity. And it's a lot. It's actually practically all of them. But and then movie night is John Carr doing that tomorrow. And then yeah, so I'm gonna be relaunching Athena in January, so that by John Jones says, Merry Christmas, guys. I wish you success and spreading Super Wonder everywhere. God bless your channel. Why, thank you, my friend. And by the way, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all of you guys. I am extremely grateful for all of you and for all of you guys for watching, and for Britt for co-hosting this channel with me.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate being a co-host, and also just of course, having fun on every episode. The interactions and all of the support that we get, and the interactions, this positive platform, to whether, bashing Tom King, bashing and making fun of Lois, or just having a conversation and the questions and everything like that. It's very fun.
Exactly. And then and then I will see you guys tomorrow. And Nate, I hope you subscribe, and I hope you all have a great time. So yeah, and again, I will be relaunching Athena in January, because I figure just give it a little break, a little time, and then we'll just relaunch it then. Anyway, stay at work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod or Hades. Zois and Maxipat for life. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.